I'm an English teacher, not fucking Tomb Raider.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly rip open your trapper keepers. I'm Chris, and I'm here with Professor Hootie, a.k.a. Trap Daddy.
What's up, fellas? Got my traps out as we speak, and I'm excited to descend into the caverns.
Let's get down in that dark. Also joined by a man who loves every day, Professor Nasty, a.k.a. Joey.
We're going down into a hole in the ground, and Sugarwood coming out bleeding. Who's ready to go down on a few of them?
All right, before we get into it, got two little interesting horror news tidbits I wanted to share with you fellas as of today, the day of this recording. Number one, and again, this is just further indication that the world truly revolves around us and everything that we do. The My Bloody Valentine franchise is coming back, baby. Blumhouse is developing a brand new My Bloody Valentine movie as we speak.
Please tell me they're bringing back the guy from The Boys or Supernatural, Mr. Ackerley.
I don't think it's a sequel to the remake. I think it's just something new in the franchise. Building
Are
off
they going to
the
continue
OG.
the story?
Building off the original, I believe.
It's not a remake.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Oh.
We'll see what happened to old Sarah. I guess all the fan film, all the flowers, if you will.
Do us a favor, keep David Gordon Green's ass away from it.
Get David Arquette in there. That's what we need to do.
Fucking David
That's
Arquette.
the only David I care about.
Dude, I saw him this weekend eating lasagna at the HorrorCon.
That's fucking awesome.
That shit was wild, bro.
Did he have a mustache?
No, he's clean shaven now.
Ah, shit. I wanted some lasagna in his mustache.
So enough time has passed that it could be the kids of the kids we watched in the first film.
Well, the way the last one ended, you could literally do a million things. Like, it was so fucking abrupt.
Yeah.
Dude just hobbling off into the caves.
Well, hobbling off into the caves minus a fucking arm.
That ain't never stopped nobody, man.
That some of us got to see being cut off. Some of us didn't.
Some of us got the PG version. Some of us got the PG-13 version.
He just stumbles away miraculously.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, pretty interesting. I have literally never read a piece of news with My Bloody Valentine written in the title. But sure enough, hopped online this morning to see what was fresh out there, and there she sat. Boom.
It's pretty wild. It's been floating around our socials for about a week now. And everybody seems pumped. But, I mean, this same community is also pretty pumped about the possibility of a remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer in 2025. So,
Oh, shit, going back. We're not even continuing the story, huh?
yeah, I'm not exactly excited about that, but
Well, no, I think there's been rumors that the fucking Prince guy, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are coming back.
I think you remake it and you set it in the mid-90s. Give it that real retro spin.
Yeah.
make it a prequel.
Here you have motherfuckers playing the Tamagotchi and shit like that. Just everybody knows. Oh yeah, this is the fucking 90s, bro.
This Digimon's really taking off, bro.
The Freddie Prinze Jr. is just like under his arm. He's carrying around a fucking chia pet. He's just sitting there fucking watering and seeding it. Just so you know.
I gotta go wait in line for the new Furby. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Other piece of news that would stand out. I feel like we can't get away from this movie or this franchise. Makeup effects master Tom Savini will be making a guest appearance this year in Terrifier 3.
Oh my god.
My man.
This fucking movie, man.
Dude, how
the headlines.
How fucking bad is Art gonna like kill him, dude? You know they're gonna make
he's
him
gonna
like,
have to get involved, like in it himself.
He's gonna be the one like working on some of the effects, guaranteed. But he's gonna make it like super grisly, super bloody. It's gonna be so good.
Is it like
I'm so hyped up for this fucking movie.
At this point, it's going to be every episode we have an update on Terrifier 3.
Between that and Maxine, man, we got a good summer, fall to look forward to here. But yeah, that's all I got on the news front. Anything you boys want to share?
I got a couple things in regards to our social media channels. Over on Instagram, we've got some pretty good movement to all the new followers and listeners. Welcome. We're up to a little over 900 followers on Instagram. And we are playing with TikTok a little bit. We're not as big on TikTok yet, but we're making good content and got some pretty solid traction so far. It's all in our link tree.
Yeah, Joe Byron, please leave TikTok alone until we get big. And then
Who the hell is Joe Byron? He sounds like a Shakespeare character.
If he can help, every little bit helps. Also,
Appreciate it, Joe.
on the merch page, people have been asking for it. I've had several folks reach out to me about it. We finally have hats. Don't ask me why it took so long, but our merch store finally has 2 different types of hats.
We finally put those fuckers to work at that sweat factory we bought back in 2021, post-COVID.
Here's the real question. Do we have beanies?
We do not have beanies yet.
Joey has
When
more
you-
requests.
You would
When you
ask for
have-
something we don't have.
When you have certain like cranial limitations.
When you got Jason Voorhees' forehead, it's a little tough to get a hat on it.
When you got parrotfish forehead, if you don't know what a parrotfish is, look it up.
Sounds
when you have
disgusting.
parrotfish forehead, you need a beanie. Normal hats just don't cut it. I literally have to wear a hat. I have to cut the slit up the back of it so I can fit it on my fucking head.
The listeners have a great idea what you look like now. But as anybody who's
Parrotfish.
ever,
Just look it up. Exactly.
anybody who's ever worked with a merch store, it can be challenging. We've had multiple outlets over the years. So we finally got hats, but to Joey's point, we will continue the journey with now producing beanies in the near future. The last piece of news I have is that we will be on a podcast across the pond that will be out at the time you are hearing this episode with Mr. BP from the Let's Talk Horror show. The YouTube channel will be updated on June 1st with the video, and on June 5th on his podcasts it will be available, and we will be covering a film we've already covered on this show. Tune in to find that out.
Got any light to shed on your horror convention you stopped at, Mr. Nasty?
It was super fucking dope.
Super dope. That's the review.
Seeing like-minded individuals, meeting like-minded individuals. I bought a really nice blanket. I should have wore it, but it's like it'd be too hot.
Spoiler alert. What's on that blanket, Hootie? Take a guess.
This blanket right here is like a cheap little throw blanket. It's very comfortable. But this is like a high-quality blanket with Art the Clown on it.
Oh,
it's fucking dope, man. It's so cool. Scared the shit out of my nephew.
He did not appreciate that.
He did not appreciate it at all. But yeah, just meeting like-minded individuals. I got a picture with the truck from Maximum Overdrive, the Green Goblin truck.
Whoa, that's cool.
I got a picture with one of the vehicles from Jeepers Creepers. Super cool. I got to see from a distance several alumni of the show, actually. Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
The blonde lady.
David Arquette literally stood behind him while he was getting fucking lasagna.
Did he take garlic bread with his lasagna? We asked the real questions here.
It's one of those things, like, they wanted you to, like, actually meet them, like, at the tables. Like, you would have to, like, shell out, like, $60. I wasn't gonna do that shit. But yeah, threw my hand up at Heather Langenkamp. She was there, looking hot.
Nancy.
To be in her, like, 60s or late 50s,
said,
whatever it was.
I'll be your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Definitely a silver fox.
She would love that.
Yeah, just had a good time. It was really fun. Got to watch Tom Arnold do 30 minutes of stand-up.
Whoa.
Tom Arnold was there for Freddy's Nightmare. Remember, he was in that with Roseanne for that brief period. But yeah, it was cool seeing Tom Arnold there amongst other like horror people.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
All right, boys, that's all we got. Let's get into today's assignment. This was my choice, and for my choice, we decided to go back to 2005, golden years for me. A little movie called The Descent.
Did we see this movie in theaters?
No.
I don't think we did either. Cause you was a young pup. I was a young stud.
I was still in high school at this point.
Hootie was in elementary school. Jimmy, can I have an apple, please? Can I have an apple and some string
Not
cheese?
what you call it. I was never asking for a fucking apple in elementary school. I need pizza and chocolate.
And snack packs.
Can I Could I please have a piece of pizza? You had to finish your other piece, son. Yeah, I need another one for later. I know I'm gonna need both.
No, I need some of that. What was it, hot dogs and rice and ketchup, whatever that
Hot
shit was
dogs,
he came
yeah.
up with?
Oh,
Onions.
fuck. Yo,
Don't tell me you tried that.
Dude, I tried that shit.
And
It was actually not bad at all.
look at there. Look at there.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Before I got disrupted, today's lesson: face your deepest fears. I like how they threw deepest in there. That's pretty clever.
Deepest.
All right, as this was my choice, let me open her up with some fan reviews here, both by way of IMDb, as we seem to get the most conversational reviews from there. Start with the negative one. This one is titled Weak Story, Meaningless Lines, Six Girls and Gollum by Ice Malkin
That last part's pretty good.
on February 20th, 2006. Cheap conversations between characters. Is it the only way to scare the audience? Every time one of the girls looks deep in the dark, one of her friends comes up from behind to scare her. But every time. Lack of originality, nothing new. Even the creatures are Gollum. But this was the best part of the film. At least for a moment, you remembered a good movie. The only part you feel the tension is the part when you realize you wasted your 99 minutes to watch probably the worst film you'll ever see. The producer should be very talented in computer networks, because I cannot imagine any other explanation for that incredible rating except that they hacked the IMDb database. 1 out of 10 stars.
All right, now I don't really like. God, yeah, I do. I was gonna say I don't like tearing apart people's like reviews, but yeah, it's a lie. There's a lot of that doesn't make any fucking sense to me whatsoever. But the thing that stands out the most is the tension he's talking about not being built. Like, this movie is literally tension incarnate.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to what the director says, he's literally, that's the whole idea, is just to keep building up tension in the dark. Make shit worse and worse and worse.
Few movies I've ever seen, like you just said, get worse and worse and worse. This movie just fucking piles on, piles on, piles on.
I'll get into it a little later, but this guy has a knack for building that kind of tension, and for the reviewer to not be able to see that, it comes across like the person may have just had it against this film.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, they're literally like referring to one scene where someone walks up behind someone, I guess, which is one of the best scenes in the fucking movie, honestly, but thought it was a little childish. It's hard to find negative reviews for this one.
I was about to say, I can see this being a movie where even like its detractors they have to be somewhat impressed with the movie. It's a very easy movie to watch in terms of like finding something enjoyable about it to keep you watching it.
All right, spinning into the positive end. This review is called Finally, I Lived to See a Good Horror Film by Kyle Roberts on July 14th, 2005. I actually wanted to go see Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it was showing too late in the evening, so we chose this one, not having a clue what it was about. I read the synopsis, a team of women exploring some caves and finding they were not alone. Well, just prepare yourself for your worst nightmare, because once it starts, it doesn't stop until the end. Just brilliant. The negative character is built in a very realistic way to scare your spirit off. To me, this was a flawless horror movie that couldn't have done much better. Must be seen, but go to the gym and get your muscles in shape, because you might want to have to hold your girlfriend all the way through if she does not ask you to leave before it's over. Enjoy. P.S. Hopefully they will not make a sequel, because it would spoil the whole thing. 10 out of 10 stars.
Hold me.
Well, first of all, you actually missed out on a pretty good movie in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The chemistry between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie is palpable. You can cut it with a knife and serve it up.
It would spawn like 15 children a few years later. So
I've never seen that film.
It did something. It's fine. They did an Amazon TV version recently, right? With Donald Glover.
With Childish Gambino or Donald Glover and some other
lady,
person.
I'm not sure who she was, yeah.
Can we stop for a second and realize this person brought up something we probably haven't thought about in years? The fact that you
going to the gym and holding our girlfriends.
Well, that's one. Number two is that you used to go to whatever city you live near, wherever your cinema was, and without a care in the world, just walked up to the ticket booth and looked at the board and said, "Okay,
What is
it's
that?
like 6:00. What's playing?"
Yeah.
Like that never happens anymore.
It's like a time I kind of miss in a way. Like the way you're describing is like a physical experience. Because now, like, you don't even, I don't know about you guys, but anytime I go to a fucking movie theater, I don't engage a single person unless I'm getting popcorn, you know? Like, there's no, I already know what I'm going to see a day before I even go there. It's not like going to the mall or something was back in the day.
It's almost like just watching your own version of direct streaming to your TV, but you're just going out. You're not really, like you said, you're not interacting with people. You're not having conversations about the movie after the movie. You get your tickets, you go grab your popcorn, where you barely got to interact with the person there. Walk to your seat, sit down, go home. There's no waiting in line. No, man, I'm so jazzed to see this shit. I've been excited for this. Oh yeah, me too, dog. Let me get your Xbox gamer tag. We're gonna play Call of Duty when we get home and shit. And then saying all sorts of racial stuff and other things.
Different times.
But yeah, it's a less personalized experience nowadays. And for an introvert like myself, it's heaven. But for anybody who enjoys social interaction, it's definitely not the heyday of theatrical releases for sure.
It's good for people who are older like us who've been through the whole social aspect of it, and now we just know, I want to go watch a good movie. But like the kids who are like in their teens now, like what's their thing? I guess they just get on YouTube or TikTok, and that's, I don't know.
Let me introduce you to
That's
the word of
social interaction.
gooning, brother.
Gooning?
Oh, you guys don't know about gooning yet?
It sounds like
Teach
something
us.
I'd rather not.
It's the hot new
knowledgeable.
thing. All the late he's seniors in high school are doing. Let's not talk about it. It's
Sounds
pretty gross. It's gross. Move on. We're trying to get a sponsorship. I'm trying to get that Taco Bell sponsorship.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some of that
Those
cantina
fucking
chicken.
empanadas. Oh, they can give me just send me some of those.
Gordita Crunch, please.
Yeah, the Gordita Crunch is where it's at. All right, let's talk about some of the crew, some of the people attached to this here project. Movie was written and directed by a fella of the name Neil Marshall, who at this point was known for 2002's Dog Soldiers. Also directed one of the big episodes of Game of Thrones called Blackwater, penultimate episode of season.
How'd you say
2.
dog soldiers like that?
I've never heard of it, but apparently
Never heard of fucking dog soldiers?
never have.
Dog
Also
Soldiers is the
directed
shit.
Hellboy from 2019.
Well.
All right, yeah, Hootie. About to say you're the damn resident Hellboy fanatic. What'd you think about the reboot?
Well, I'm.
Keep it in mind, it had Ian McShane in it. And Ian McShane is the shit.
I mean, we all love Ian McShane, although we all know that Ian McShane does some dog shit.
Hey, if it's got a check, he's gonna do it.
100%. He was in that rock movie Hercules. That was also awful. I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't finish that Hellboy. It was just that bad. It was just all over
Wow.
the place.
That
All
says a
over the
lot
place.
because you're like a diehard Hellboy fan.
I love Hellboy, and the movie was so, and it had Mila Jovovich in it, and you know that I also love her. Like the movie was set up for me to love it, and I cut it off.
So what the hell do I need to know about Dog Soldiers exactly?
Man, it's like, all right, you talking about underrated movies, underappreciated movies like this movie, The Descent, right?
Yeah.
It's like the exact same thing, but with werewolves. It's got my boy fucking Lucius Varenus. You guys ever seen Rome?
Nah, it's like the one HBO show I have not seen.
All right, it's Kevin McKidd. He's like known better for, he was in Train Spotting, as well as I think he's in Grey's Anatomy. I think that's what a lot of ladies know him for. But it's like
I know Train Spotting.
It's a werewolf movie that takes place in, I think it's Scotland. And it's about this band of British soldiers who are sent on like a routine training excursion, and they run into some fucking werewolves.
It's like a WW2 thing, or is it modern?
No, it's modern. This is fucking MP5s and ARs and all that shit. But it's just dope. It's got a lot of recognizable cast, like British cast.
I was in town, our hometown, where you two live, this past weekend, and doing research, I saw Dog Soldiers and saw how heavily reviewed it was as far as actually been a good horror film. So me and the elder Hootie watched it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Really enjoyed it.
So is it like played for like comedic bits in there too, or what?
I would say some, but it's you can watch Dog Soldiers and go, yeah, that guy directly did Descent. And I will say that my wife walked into the room for a couple minutes and said, hey, that's the guy from Grey's Anatomy. So.
Oh shit! Grey's Anatomy guy.
Fucking funny.
Yeah, he directed some big Game of Thrones episodes, so I feel like that's
Dude, he's
done some good shit.
Penultimate episodes of season 2 and 3 or 2 and 4?
Yeah, 2 and 4. Blackwater, I think, was the
Blackwater is
season 2.
like Blackwater is held as like one of the top 5 episodes, and I think Watchers on the Wall.
Yeah, he got nominated for
like
an Emmy
top
for that
10,
one.
top 15, something like that.
Yeah, he's handled some big dick stuff,
He's
as they
got
say.
some big hitters on there, man.
But yeah, super British. He obviously has the super British style, super British casting, which kind of lends to lesser notes about the rest of the cast and crew for me to come, but it is what it is. I also wanted to shout out the cinematographer here, a guy by the name of Sam McCurdy.
He fucking kills it, doesn't he?
Yeah, the cinematography is great, and he also has a cinematography for Shogun on FX, which looks fantastic as well.
I haven't. I still haven't
Great
finished that show.
fucking
I need
show,
to
man. It's
finish
great.
it. Have they greenlit season 2 yet, or what?
Now it's a one-off book. Like the series jumps like hundreds of years. It's one of those type of deals.
No fucking way they don't have a season 2.
I don't know, bro. I think because from what I understand, they shot it like 3 years ago. It's been like a really long post-production, so I don't know if they're gonna keep at it.
Just like some COVID shit.
Like right in the heart of COVID, yeah. And it took so long to get it out. I don't think they're gonna. They didn't have plans to follow it up with anything. It was a limited run, from what I understand. But a great looking show.
I guess I want to give a little shout out to a guy by the name of Simon Bowles. He was the dude who was responsible for like production design. So he is also responsible for designing all the cave sets that were used in the movie. And of the cave sets they do design, they make very, very good use of the sets themselves. It's really hard to tell that it's not an actual fucking cave that they're in for the majority of the movie.
Yes, I read they had made like 21 cave sets, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And they had a pretty unique system of the way they, I guess, made the rocks.
I think it's like polyurethane or something.
Yeah, polyurethane sprayed on the rock, pretty much to give it that like true cavernous.
Give it
look.
like a texture, you know.
The all the practical stuff looks great. That, of course, we always know what it means when we highlight the practical.
Well, okay, if you're gonna get into the special effects, there's not much.
Yeah, there's not.
What's there that's not good? But
It's bad.
it's 2005.
No, it's not. It's not good. It's bad.
Well, oh god damn it!
Well,
how many instances can you pick off the top of your head? All right, the bats look like shit.
Bats
We're
look
gonna
like
talk
shit.
about it.
We'll get to it.
Right,
We'll get to it.
I'm asking now. Are you going to talk about it? Or are you going to
at least 3 or 4? I would say.
Okay, as long as you talk about it, we can go over it.
well, now that we've slaughtered the fucking special effects and the makeup, Paul Hyatt.
No, not the special effects and makeup. That's fine.
Okay, well, Paul Hyatt was.
It's
the
actually
makeup.
good. It's not fine. It's good.
Mr. Paul Hyatt did a fantastic job with the crawlers, in my opinion.
Yeah, they look cool. It's kind of like we alluded to in that fan review. Some people would say it's a version of Gollum.
Gollum. Let me hear your best Gollum, Chris.
Gollum.
The inspiration behind the crawlers was actually Nosferatu.
Yeah, I could see that too. I think A Quiet Place owes some shit to this too. You know Nosferatu?
Yeah, you owe me $20.
I'm looking forward to the
You don't say
the
very
new
much.
version. Robert Eggers, my boy, making one. Shout out the witch.
Oh, you talking about Skarsgård?
Yeah, I think Bill's in there, and
Yeah,
I'm sure he's
I think
probably
we
going
talked
to
about this a
use
few episodes back.
yeah, Taylor Joy as well. I bet. So,
God Almighty, can we talk about Furiosa?
What about it?
what about
great.
her as a person?
Oh goodness gracious, she is the hottest thing on planet Earth right now.
That was a great movie.
She is so odd looking, but oh my god, it makes it that much hotter. And she's such a good fucking actress, man.
She did a great job.
I thought Hemsworth was great too. Moving on, let's go behind the scenes here. Got a few tidbits we wanted to highlight before we get into the meat of the story here. This was originally planned to be a cast of male and female characters. We settled on female because the producers determined that was underrepresented in the horror genre.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. Yeah, the only male like of note in the entire movie is Paul, and he's in a movie for I don't know. He's in there for like 3 minutes.
He's kind of the villain of the piece at the end of the day.
Oh, but does he get it?
Oh, he gets it good.
I think it really works for this film. Just it makes sense. We got like a little girls trip here. I mean, little girl.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't
woman's
make any
trip.
sense to have like a dude just randomly thrown in there, like
Like
a
two
fucking
dudes in there doing the whole.
a sixth wheel or seventh wheel to just knock off the chemistry of the group.
Also, this is set in North Carolina, shout out, but shot entirely in the United Kingdom. Exterior shots were in Scotland. All interiors were built at Pinewood Studios near London.
I'm gonna tell you what. There's a period of time in the movie, and you might glaze over it, so I'm gonna talk about it now, where a couple of the actors are talking shit about North Carolina. So I'm gonna tell you what, these bitches got what they deserved.
Yeah, it's just pure revenge porn at that point once they start talking shit about the radio.
How did the director know to set it in North Carolina? Because he's also from London, correct?
Yeah, he's a British guy. It's a very British. The whole cast is British, basically, too.
Well, here's the thing. He wanted to set in the Appalachians, right? Just because
Which
the Appalachians
covers a
are
lot of states.
massive. Covers 15 fucking states.
There you go.
It's a big one.
And doing a little bit of further digging, at one point you see a fucking sign that somebody shot with a shotgun, and they
Boom,
talk
boom.
shit about that because it's quintessential fucking North Carolina bullshit.
North
but the
Kakalaki, boy.
Chattooga National Park, which isn't even a thing, right? Chattooga National Park, I think, is like an homage or it's a reference to the Chattooga River, where the movie Deliverance takes place. This movie, it definitely takes some cues from Deliverance in terms of like city folk going where they don't belong.
Yeah, kind of underline that point. Marshall cited 3 movies as his biggest influences in establishing tension, which is kind of funny that would do shit on it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Thing, and Deliverance. Those were his 3 influences for this movie.
Those are some big heavy hitters, boys.
It's a holy trinity, man. Also thought this was kind of interesting. I know Hootie alluded to this when we kind of dropped, but we were going to cover this next. They decided to release this film before The Cave. So they had to fast-track production to be completed by the end of February 2005. So we had a literal space race, or a cave race, if you will, to get this movie out.
You talk about a forgettable fucking snooze fest.
You know that I had that same note, Chris, because The Cave stars none other than Cole Hauser. And I like Cole Hauser well before fucking Yellowstone. You both know this.
He's got a second life in Yellowstone. I like him in Pitch Black.
He's good. Pitch Black. Paparazzi was not great, but he was in that.
Oh, fuck, he was on the cover of that, wasn't he? God.
He was in
That's a weird
Too
fucking
Fast, Too
movie.
Furious.
That movie had Lena Headey. How do you spell
Lena
her
Headey.
last name?
Lena Headey. But yeah, last thing I had to highlight here, thought this was pretty cool. They kept the crawler design hidden from the actresses until they were revealed in the scenes where they encountered the creatures. That's pretty cool.
I think they said the first scene they shot where they saw the creature for the first time is the first time they actually see it in its totality in the movie, like the infrared shot where it's standing behind them.
The Paris
Yeah.
Hilton camera
Yeah.
where it pans over.
Yeah, I think
Forever
that's
the Paris Hilton
So I think a
camera.
lot of those reactions are probably pretty genuine if they stuck with that take.
That's very effective. And it's interesting that now back-to-back shows, the director has hidden things from the cast. The only thing that I had left that hasn't already been touched on was that the actors who portrayed the crawlers had to shave their entire bodies in order to have the prosthetics applied to them.
You imagine
Buttholes
pulling
and
that
everything.
prosthetic off your ass, like your hairy ass, and just pulling all the hair off. Holy fuck.
So there was like one guy who was like the butthole shaver. Like, that was his job.
Right there.
All right.
Dude.
Every day he come in, just shave somebody's asshole and get some makeup on it.
All right, imagine, right? You got your entire body shaved. You forget to get your taint. So you go to take off the fucking costume. However, it doesn't come off all the way because you got hair on your taint. So you're dragging this fucking skin figure by your taint across the ground.
How about that? How about that imagery?
How about that?
Like some amorphous blob. Fucking
Can you
on
imagine
skin.
being the guy who has, or the woman, whichever, who
The
has
person.
to shave the person who has to shave these actors, and then realize, when I was a kid, I wanted to be in Hollywood, and now I'm shaving this person's back.
Now I'm staring at this man's butthole 3
Shave
days
this
in a row.
person's back. You talking about? Fuck, you ain't talking about back. Shaving somebody's back ain't a big deal.
Well,
If I'm shaving somebody's crusty ass, then that's a big deal.
big deal, huge deal. Well, why don't you go
Huge.
over and shave my back then, Joey? If it ain't that big of a deal.
I got to throw the budget out here, of course. I had to do some USD conversions here because I was only getting everything I was looking up in pounds. This was a $4.45 million movie, and the box office was a $57.1 million return.
It's pretty huge.
Pretty impressive for a movie that had no recollection of it being advertised or
We'll go
even
ahead
in
and say
theaters.
now, not adjusted for inflation either. So keep that in mind. It could be even more.
All right, boys, anything else before we hop in this big old hole in the ground?
Hell no, let's dive in first. Let's pull a Holly and just fucking get a fucking full head of steam. Run full fucking speed. Who do you ever went spelunking? You do the whitewater rafting and shit like that.
Hootie does dumb shit all the time.
I do enjoy the outdoors. I was going to do spelunking in Banff, Canada last summer, and I ain't gonna pull no fucking man card. I chickened out, boys. All right.
He remembered the descent. That's power.
Okay.
That's
Can we
power.
just stop right here? The crew that I was with, we have like a travel fam, is what we call it. They all went kind of like low-level mountain climbing, and I'm terrified of heights. So I was like, I'm going to go spelunking by myself. And then I remember the descent.
Shit.
I remember the descent. I think you have a tour guide. I remember the descent, and I was like, fuck that.
I'm not shaving my asshole for this.
Let's be honest. You remember the cave, and you was thinking to yourself, "Man, that movie was fucking lame as hell. I ain't doing
I
this
thought,
shit."
I am definitely not Cole Hauser. So
I am not dying like Cole Hauser. If he died in that movie that I've never seen personally.
no, he is the one who gets bitten by the creature and then slowly turns into
God.
the creature and becomes the
God.
hero at the end. That has to fight the
Spoiler
creature.
alert! I was gonna pick the cave.
Boom! There you go.
Well, I guess we're
Whenever
going to go in depth
whenever
next week.
Whenever my fucking sequence came up.
Tune in next week. All right, boys, without further ado, let's go to them hills of Appalachia, get in the ground, and check out the descent.
We're in the wrong fucking cave.
Holly was right. Bourne Caverns was a tourist trap.
Don't try and pin this fucking shite on me.
This is not caving. This is an ego trip.
Juno, played by Natalie Mendoza. And if you'll notice here, I don't have a lot of you may know her from in these introductions because this is a lot of very British women who have been in things I have never seen before. So Juno, played by Natalie Mendoza. Sarah, played by Shauna McDonald. And Beth, played by Alex Reed, are whitewater rafting in Scotland. Sarah's husband Paul and their daughter Jessica wave and cheer from the bank on the drive back to the hotel. Paul is distracted, causing a collision. Paul and Jessica are killed, but Sarah survives. So yeah, that's 5 actors who I have 0 notes about. So feel free if you got anything.
Well, before we do that, let's talk about in depth how they actually died in the car crash, because it's not just a simple car crash. This was a fucking Final Destination 2 style through the windshield.
Through the dome.
They hit the worst possible thing they could hit. I think it was like either like a plumbing vehicle or like a vehicle. The vehicle
bad.
had fucking copper pipes on top of it, right?
This kid got wrecked.
The copper pipes shoot through the fucking windows at like 400 miles an hour somehow. They wasn't driving like 35 miles an hour. Shoots through the windows, strikes perfectly the little kid in the head, and the fucking adult male Paul in the head.
I like it. He went through his mouth.
You talking about good camera work. The way the camera's like panning up over the scene, and we can see the pipes sticking out of the windshield, right? And we see Paul's hand in frame, and it's doing like the death twitch. Man,
Yeah.
that shit was so fucking good. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, the little death twitch is always creepy. It was very jarring though. Like I kind of knew that was coming because I've seen this movie before. Still very impactful. The sound design right there is really good too, because it goes from like dead quiet to
Be honest, boys, I didn't remember the beginning of this film. I sat back, I like opened it up, I was watching it, and just kind of chilling. I was like, holy shit!
the popcorn.
What?
I remember there was some sort of traumatic event that like puts all this shit into motion. But yeah, I didn't remember it being that brutal, because that shit was brutal.
And as the resident kid guy, it's hard to see the kid.
Oh God, here we go.
Yes, here it is.
It's
It's
hard to
tough.
see a kid
You
hit in the
always-
face with a fucking
You
copper
fuckers
pipe.
always seem to forget that they're children. That these things.
It's a
are happening
movie.
to. I know, but it
We're
makes,
not watching a Serbian film. We're watching fucking The Descent.
This week on Dad Corner,
Just saying, it's even harder when it's a kid. No one gives a fuck about Paul.
poor Paul.
As an uncle who
Paul
loves
was
his
once a
nephew
child.
very, very much, these type of movies, they have this happen to make you
trigger
feel
you.
that much more. Yeah, to trigger you and make you feel that much more sorrowful for.
Exactly.
the
And I'm
lead.
here representing like real normal human beings, unlike you two.
You remember when we watched The Mist, Hootie, and how much of a fucking pussy he was?
Fuck the mist. I ain't gonna get back into that shit again.
But yeah, we talked about factoids earlier, right? This opening whitewater rafting scene was actually done by the actors, with no doubles, no special effects, none of that stuff involved. And I bet hearing that makes Hootie's nipples hard as fuck.
Oh, I have the same note. I was super excited.
I'm so sorry I stole it from you.
This movie opened up, and I was like, holy shit! Because you don't see whitewater rafting or even kayaking really filmed usually. And it was so well shot. It was well framed. It looked legit. The river there obviously was real. It wasn't any kind of a set. And for the actors to do it, I got some kudos, because those were some fucking Class 4 and Class 5 rapids from what I could see.
Here's the thing. They didn't look like they was in control of that raft at all.
A lot of times when you're hitting those high class rapids, it's a lot of bouncing around.
Is it literally like a squeeze your butt cheeks together
Yeah.
and your sphincter and just pray it don't overturn and kill you?
It's about finding your line, running your line, and then just keeping everybody in the boat.
Keeping your taint smooth for all the rocks you're gonna be bumping into.
Routine smooth. Yeah, I do have some notes on the actors, and before I do that, one more thing I want to talk about. There's some tension in the air when they get off the raft here. Correct?
There's some
Was I the
eye
only one to sense
contacts.
that? Some strange eye contact. You can already tell that Paul and Juno they got some tension going on, huh?
Yeah, I think Paul might be double dipping a little bit. Yeah.
And I think Beth, she notices it as well.
Yeah, Sarah seems kind of oblivious for quite a bit of this movie, which kind of gives her, it frames her up for a genuine transformation, which is nice.
She goes from naive to something else entirely by the end of the movie.
Fucking Laura Croft.
I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned Irvine Welsh, right? Anyway, his book Filth
Yeah, I know that book.
with James McAvoy.
The movie, he wasn't in the book. He's an actor.
Yeah, well, the movie, the film adaptation of Irvine Welsh's Filth.
He wrote
James
Train
McAvoy.
Spotting too, right?
Was in Carol. Yeah, he wrote Train Spotting as well, which my boy was in that we talked about earlier. But yeah, she plays the role of Carol in the 2013 adaptation. That's all. That's all I got.
Okay.
What do you got for Sarah?
I have for Sarah? She was in a film that I thought was going to be an awesome follow-up to Thomas Jane's The Mist, which was Mutant Chronicles.
What the hell?
Ain't no fucking way you got a movie called The Mutant Chronicles and you think it's going to be anything like...
Oh, wait. That was Thomas Jane's next movie, you're saying?
After The Mist.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
And it
It,
had
wasn't like
Ron-
a sequel to The Mist.
No. It was his follow-up. It had Ron Perlman. It had Thomas Jane.
All the stars were just aligning for your like 12-year-old mind.
I'm telling you,
Fucking
man.
stars!
I was so ready. I was so
Everybody
ready.
I love is in this movie, and it's
He
called
went to the
Mutant
theater. The
Chronicles.
only person that bought a ticket was him.
If you thought the CGI in Anaconda and The Frighteners was bad, in the 2010 film Mutant Chronicles, it got worse.
2010.
It was fucking bad. It was
recent.
It was mainly shot on green screens, and the green screens looked like shit.
Damn it, Ron.
Thomas, can you at least pretend that you're trying to act and not trying to cash a fucking check? Ron is over here trying to be like a lion or some shit. This is the first time they ever cast him in a role where he's not a mutant or a goddamn not a goddamn member of the fucking Beauty and the Beast squad.
The
We
Beast.
have to keep telling Ron to take off the prosthetics. We're not putting them on him. He's putting them on himself.
Why are you trying to fuck me with this movie?
We love you, Ron Perlman. I appreciate all your UFC voice work. You're awesome. Oh, yeah, I heard Thomas Jane mentioned recently, just ironically, about some UFO shit. He's hosting some kind of UFO convention or something.
He's trying to get into the alien community. I don't know much about it, but he's becoming
You know what that is?
Guy.
You know what that is? That's just like the dude from Hootie and the Blowfish trying to cash an easy fucking check by switching the country. Trying to cash an easy check.
I think he's kind of made a career out of it, though. Y'all done with these actors? Because I got nothing.
Last one I got, Juno, Natalie Mendoza was in A Moulin Rouge.
Oh, was she? I liked her. She's
Well, damn, you don't have anything about Alex Reed as Beth?
Alex Reed, I have The Descent Part 2 and question mark.
No, man, she was the probation
I
officer.
like that one. That's my favorite.
She was the probation officer, Sally, in UK's Misfits.
Boom.
Y'all never
right
watched
there.
Misfits? You gotta fucking watch Misfits, man. That shit is so good. Anyway, this show's got Robert Sheehan and Ewan Ryan, the guy from Game of Thrones, Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay the bastard.
The show is literally about these kids who are like, I guess, misfits. Like
Spoiler
on
alert.
probation, they're doing community service. They get struck by lightning, and all of them get superpowers.
I've
It's
seen
so
you
fucking
watch this
cool,
shit
man.
before. This
It's
is the
so
type of shit I've
fucking good.
watched you watch before.
It's so
They've
good. You
been
gotta
like,
give it a try.
nah.
You know what? That's definitely you, man.
And fuck you. Go back to watching Mutant High School. Where the fuck you was watching, Hootie?
That was me. Meeting Chronicles. It was bad. It's bad. That's right.
It was bad, but he couldn't finish the Hellboy sequel or the remake, but he can do Mutant
Oh,
Chronicles.
he loved Mutant Chronicles. He's waiting for part 2 and 3.
It was supposed to have a sequel, and it flopped.
It's Chronicles. It has to be multiple, right?
Yeah. It was a big deal.
1 year later, Juno, Sarah, and Beth join Sam, played by Miana Burring, who played Tisaya in The Witcher. Netflix's The Witcher. The only actor I have a note about in this whole movie. And Rebecca, played by Saskia Mulder, at a cabin in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, U.S. of A. We also meet Juno's new friend Holly, played by Nora Jane Noon. As they reminisce over an old photo, Sarah says, "Love each day," her late husband's motto. There's 3 more actors. That's pretty much our whole crew there.
Yeah. It's the only one to note that you talked about was the one who plays Tisaya DeVries. From the Netflix's The Witcher, R.I.P. That show
She was good in it. She's good in that show.
Well, no, she was great. But the show is destined for, ultimately destined for failure. They've already canceled the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I
of
don't
the
want to
show.
talk about it, man. As soon as Cavill got bounced, I quit
As soon
watching.
as Cabo got the fucking axe, then that's not worth. We talked about it before. God, it makes me so fucking mad.
I got a note on Rebecca, played by Saskia Mulder.
Yeah?
Okay. This is her last acting role ever.
Oh, shit, what happened? She still alive?
She's alive. She just quit acting. She said, "Fuck it, I'm done." And spoiler alert, she might be my favorite character that's not like one of the main 2, Juno and Sarah. She does a really good
Really?
job to me. Yeah, I really
I
like
think
Rebecca.
she's the weakest link in my opinion.
I could also
I think Holly's the weakest link.
Oh no, you're talking about acting wise is what I'm talking about.
Holly is annoying as shit.
No, the weakest link is Sam. I mean, outside of her being a doctor, she don't really. She's hot. Don't get me wrong, she looks hot. But outside of being the resident doctor and you know getting people healed up and shit, she don't really do very much.
Rebecca came off as believable, in my opinion, in her knowledge of how to actually do this. It could also be because she's fucking tall. I don't know.
Hot, tall lady, yeah.
Also, Holly, played by Nora Jane Noon, was in an Academy Award-winning film, Brooklyn.
She annoyed the hell out of me. As soon as she came on the screen, I was like, this is that lady in the
This
group.
is
you know?
this is
the
one
wild
who's over
card.
the top. This is the one who's gonna be the first one to tip the domino.
She reminded me of Charlie from It's Always Sunny. Like spiky haircut and everything. Chaos.
King of the Rats, Charlie Day.
Yes.
We will get there, but there is a similar to what happens to Holly happens in Dog Soldiers, but I will wait to reveal that.
Oh, okay. Also, yeah, this is we had the drive into the cabin. We had the whole mud, blood, beer, and Jesus. It's That's all they got on the fucking radio around here.
These motherfuckers, man. I'm gonna tell you what.
Just dunking on North Carolina.
Talking shit about North Carolina. They deserve
dunking
what they
on
get.
us.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Tell him, Samuel. I did appreciate seeing the first in flight license plate. That was cool.
But if we get them down to brass tacks, I mean, they ain't really wrong. But.
I mean, they ain't 100% wrong, but there's more than one radio station in North Carolina. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
It ain't all out of gate.
I listen to plenty of Rolling Stones while living here in North Carolina on the radio. And the pole jump was it got me. The pole coming through the window when Sarah's kind of looking out at night. That one got me.
Yeah, the movie does a good job right here of establishing like a lot of the characters' hang-ups and what their current situations are like mentally and what they're going through. It paints Sarah as kind of being trauma-induced schizophrenic. She's heavily medicated. However, and I don't want to get ahead, put the horse before the cart, and I'm going to go ahead and mention it because it's going to be very important for later on in the movie. If we skip over it, it's probably going to make it to where scenes in the movie don't make sense. She actually leaves her medication behind.
She's not a believable witness based on this, her reliance on medication up to this point. The next morning, the group goes caving. They jump down a big old hole. When they decide to break for lunch, Juno apologizes to Sarah for not being there after the accident. As the group moves through the next passage, it collapses behind them, Sarah barely making it through. I think we could do this, boys.
Oh, bull fucking shit.
Let's just walk and find random ass holes and jump in it.
You're going to lather me up like I'm a goddamn greased hog or something. Because I ain't getting through any of them
We're pushing
holes.
you in first, dog. Like Winnie the Pooh.
Why would you do that? And then I'd be the one to get stuck.
Exactly. That way we know it's safe.
So, I have a note here. And I tried to find as many caving tidbits as I could because none of us know jack shit about caving.
I've been playing a lot of Dave the Diver recently, and I know a lot about caves.
Well, I played a lot of Deep Rock. But anyway, they talk about this is a level 2 cave, according to the brochures that they've all looked at. But
According to the brochures they look at but leave behind in the car, so
Yeah.
they have no knowledge
Well,
of the actual cave.
That's all Juno's doing. But somebody that I found a note on said that during this crawling scene, the material of the cave looks to be limestone. And limestone is known to crumble and crack. And that tunnel would have caved in rather easily. Which means that that is not a level 2 cave. Boom.
What makes something level 2?
I'm assuming safety. Like level 1 is like a cavern. So the higher you go, just like rapids, like with whitewater. Like a class 5 is strap in.
It's like the F5 tornado and Twister. Got it.
Yes.
On the Fachita scale. You remember that?
Dorothy, you took her, you son of a bitch.
You took her, you damn thief. That's what he says. But yeah, the cave entrance, CG, and the bats right here are fucking doo-doo.
The bats were bad.
The bats are bad, and did you see Holly coming down full speed in front of her fucking green screen with her Charlie Day haircut? It looked like shit.
What was the budget in this movie?
Her hair, like $5 million.
All right, $5 million.
Hold on,
Anaconda,
no.
we
I'm
just
not
fucking
shitting on the
watched.
movie.
They charged
It's funny.
$500,000 for a second of goddamn CGI.
I literally
in this.
have a note that says, "You motherfuckers shit on Anaconda." That was 10 years older than this. And
This
it
shit
looked
looked way better than
this.
fucking Anaconda.
No, it did not.
Way
Her
fucking
hair,
better.
Rewatch that scene. Watch her jump into that fucking cave going 20 miles an hour.
You don't watch this movie for the CGI. You watch Anaconda for the CGI.
She looked like Christopher Reeve Superman jumping in, dog.
I gotta see
It looked
this
like
now.
50
I don't
years old.
remember
It
it.
was bad.
Here's the thing.
I see I'm watching this shit on a 4K TV in the dark, so I'm seeing every fucking inch of this thing.
Well, here's the thing. They paint her character, Holly, to be like the thrill junkie, right? She's like all about being extreme and shit. She's all about
pussy,
she's all
baby,
about
let's go.
pussy, baby. Fucking finger that pussy. Yeah, she's all about just being wherever the next rush comes from. So it has
Tubular, man.
it has her repel into the cave really, 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 really fucking fast.
And
you
it looks
think it
like
was really
shit.
you think it was really fast because it was gonna look like shit? So get it over with as fast as you can.
I don't know why they did it. I guess it was a character moment to show you she's reckless.
She's
just
reckless.
going.
Yeah,
But-
and eventually we'll see that she is indeed reckless.
but I'd be damned if I didn't need to see it. And I'm like, God, that looked like shit. And then there's a CGI wide shot of everybody in the same fucking scene where it shows them all like spread out among the cave when they're in the big galley or whatever. And it's clearly fucking CG and it looks terrible too, man. It's all mostly packed in right here.
To that scene, though, it was nice that they added the echo to their voices.
The sound design is what makes the movie feel genuine.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think after we get out of this big open space, it definitely works better for me. But they were trying to show you the scope, I get it, and they were trying to show you every actor in this big space spread out. But the way, I'm like, God, this looks like fucking doo-doo.
When right before they jump in, they get to the actual cave entrance, and it's literally just a hole in the ground, right?
It literally is like a slash in the ground. It's not even a fucking hole.
All right, you know that was CGI too, right? That looked
Chris.
good, didn't it? Anyway, the reason I bring it up, Beth, the school teacher, she has like one of the best lines in the movie when they first enter. See the hole? I'm a school teacher, not fucking Tomb Raider.
That was such a good line.
This shit was so fucking good, man.
There's got to be some Lara Croft call. I mean, there's British women cave diving. There's got to be a Lara Croft reference in here.
Before the cave even collapses, Sarah is already hallucinating. She's like hearing kids' laughter and all this other shit. So
the giggling
she's
was
already like
scary.
unhinged.
There's like a few places. The last place you want to hear a child giggle is in the fucking bowels of the earth when you're surrounded by adults.
In darkness.
That's scary.
In complete darkness. Also, the use of like colors within the cave. Did you guys like pick up on that? Like the reds and the greens from like the flares and all this other stuff?
Yeah, the lighting was really cool.
Dude, how cool was that shit?
The deeper they get, the cooler it is because everything's like blood red.
I thought that was so fucking dope.
Even though we don't ever really get a good look at the environment, the way the light plays is pretty awesome.
So have we passed the point where Sarah gets stuck in the little
we're at the point now where she got through.
She's just made
and
it through.
the tunnel has collapsed.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna.
What about when they're in the tunnel, Hootie? When she's stuck in the tunnel and this bitch is telling her to calm down and breathe.
Oh,
how the fuck can you breathe with all that goddamn dust and shit she's kicking up?
I don't know how you're being squeezed by a fucking mountain and then also being told to be calm.
Dude, tell me I can't fucking breathe. Bitch, this is fucking cave spores, asbestos, and dust. I can't fucking breathe.
So, that scene in particular, and I'm probably going to ask a lot because it's hard to know exactly where in the cave you are at some points. But for that scene, the tight tunnel crawl scene, several other women's audition scenes hinged on that. And the director, or the casting director, whoever it was, made the actresses crawl under a lined table with some kind of cloth and, like, act that scene out.
Act it out, that's pretty cool.
Probably in some, like, normal fucking office.
So maybe cool if they had like somebody like Joy sit on her back while she fucking tries to do this scene. That'd be fucking awesome to walk in on that.
Stay calm.
Say it louder. I'm gonna fucking sit a little bit harder on you right here. Say it a little bit louder.
Has anyone shaved that man's taint? Oh, he's farting on her now. She could feel the cave moving.
All right, the last thing I'm gonna bring up about this whole scene where they're stuck, because the movie, like, it flips a switch at this. There's in this movie, there's like multiple switches being flipped, right? This is like the first switch that's flipped. It goes from being, oh man, look at this beautiful place we're in. We're all together. We're all, good friends. It's so nice to see each other after a year and after all that, traumatic bullshit. She gets stuck in the fucking cave or in the tunnel, and it starts to collapse. And that music, how it shifts.
Music kicks.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I had a note specifically about how much the music shifts after this point.
Dude, it just puts you in the overdrive. If you would have saw us in theaters right here at this moment, your heart would be beating out of your fucking chest.
I did like the bit when she was trying to calm her down too. She said, "How do you give a lemon an orgasm? You tickle its citrus."
That's pretty good.
I like that one.
That was pretty good. I'm gonna add that one to the repertoire.
But Juno holds a secret, doesn't she, Chris?
Moving on, let's see what we got to find out here. After a heated discussion, Juno admits that she has led them into an unknown cave system, making rescue impossible. Juno tells Sarah that she did so hoping to name the system after her. How fucking pissed would you be at this bitch which brought you across the pond and stuck you in an unknown fucking hole in North Carolina. I did it for you, babe.
That's bullshit. Knowing this was like some sort of like ego trip.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's fucking Holly's fault. I blame Holly.
When we first introduce Juno in this like sequence, right? In my mind, she feels some sort of guilt about what happened to the husband and the daughter, because she's painted as the friend in the group who organizes all these thrill-seeking adventures, right?
Yeah, she's like the hot, sexy single one.
Yeah, if she hadn't organized that over there in Scotland, like the husband and daughter would still be alive. So I felt like this whole thing to begin with was like, all right, our friend group is splintered. I want to make it up to Sarah and, make things right. And it's like that for me up until this point when her true intentions are revealed. And, you already feel a certain type of way about her because of her interactions with Paul. The audience, you can kind of tell something's going on. But now this makes it like, I want to see this bitch burn.
Paul was tickling her citrus already at some point. We could kind of tell.
Her motives, and I talk about it in my final review of this film, are all over the place to where I just am very confused on what Juno thinks at multiple points of this film.
Yeah. I feel like she's half guilt-ridden, half like wants Sarah dead in a way, She's super fucking jealous of the life she had.
Well, through some exposition, too, I can also see it as like, all right, they talk about how they're getting older. Beth, she goes out of her way to mention how old she's getting. Sam's going to be a doctor soon. She's like in the last year of her doctorate. Holly, she's probably going to die jumping off a fucking building somewhere. So this is like the last chance for the friend group to get together and go on one last adventure. But like you had said, Hootie, it seems like she has several motivating factors that kind of clash with each other.
The group discovers a cave painting and climbing equipment from a previous visitor, suggesting a second exit exists. Holly falls down a hole and breaks her fucking leg. Sam sets Holly's fracture with a splint, and they carry her. As the others help Holly, Sarah wanders off and observes a pale, humanoid creature drinking from a pool. The others think Sarah imagines this.
Here's something that kind of like nips the realism of this movie in the bud. Knowing if they found cave drawings, prehistoric man would have drawn at least 2 to 10 cocks somewhere on that wall.
Big cocks too.
Guaranteed, those would be on those walls.
Balls to the walls, if you will.
It wouldn't. It would be a cartoonistic drawing. It's not going to be like a big veiny member or anything. But prehistoric man didn't have much going on. It was either fucking mammoths, deers, or fucking.
Or wieners, yeah. But yeah, this is another tone shift here, too. After you see the painting, the music kind of even shifts into another level. I noticed that. The score kind of shifts because you get like a tinge of hope, but bad shit's going to happen before we get there. It's kind of the impression I got after this point, I think we hear some more children's laughter here, too. Is kind of what leads Sarah to this creature by the pool of water.
So at this point, they've already built the cable crossing that everybody gets across.
Yeah, and they get the fucked up rope burn on the hand. Ugh.
Yeah. I had a question in regards to, I understand all these women are very athletic, very in shape, probably more in shape than I am. But why was the tallest woman chosen to go across the ceiling to build the cable wire? Like, she obviously
I think
weighs
she
the
made that
most.
choice herself. I think she's like the most experienced caver at this point.
Okay, because
They talk about early in the movie. She's the one that's like checking everybody's gear and shit, make sure it's all good.
She's the mama bear.
Well, she does a good
But
job.
I'm a bit confused later on about why they're doing some of the logistically climbing stuff. So I think we might come back around to that same type of question later. And there's a matte painting we see of the cavern here too that looks fucking great. And it is the complete and opposite of the CGI shit we saw earlier. Because I could tell it's like a painting. It's not like a CG image, or like the actors aren't pushed up against it. So the practical shit here looks great. The rope burn hand looks fucking great,
Yeah, it looks, dude, that's more of the special effects looking really good.
Yeah, and from what I could tell, we don't encounter any more CG going forward. So It just kind of annoyed me that you front
We
loaded me with
do
like doo-doo.
at the very end of the movie, and it doesn't look all that good. Did we talk about how they establish at this point that they're not the first ones to be in the cave?
Yeah, because they noticed some of that equipment from a previous expedition.
Yeah, there's a baton up in the I guess what you call it, the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
The top of the cavern.
The stalactites.
Embedded in, and according to one of the actors, or one of the characters, they haven't used those type of equipment for like 100 years.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit late to the party. So it kind of makes you wonder, why hasn't this been named? Why hasn't this been mapped?
Some old moonshiners down
Looks
there.
like we're gonna find out why here, boys.
They should have drawn them dicks, that's for sure.
But this whole thing, I talked about earlier, where Sarah's having like a psychotic breakdown, pretty much, and she's seeing all these figures. Like, are they figures of her imagination at this point, or are we actually seeing white figures in a cave where nothing is supposed to be?
And again, I think kind of going back to that person who was, think about the positive review that we read, who was going sight unseen to watch this. Like, they had no fucking idea what they were, like, we knew, oh, this is a horror movie, this is going to be, there's these monsters in here, blah, blah, blah. Like, I knew all that before I ever watched this movie, just based on word of mouth. But if you're going in, you're like, oh, maybe this is a psychological thing, and maybe she is seeing this shit. It's hard to unknow the things we know watching these movies, you know?
I feel like the way they establish it, they really do make the audience question, is this real or not? So
That had been such a cool experience to walk into this film knowing nothing about it and just living it, man.
not really expecting much at all, too. Because the thing about this movie, we've already talked about it, no one knows who the fuck these actors are. All the credits we've given out about these actors are after this movie.
They're obscure as hell, too, on top of that, so.
So for this scene, with fresh eyes on dog soldiers, in that film, one of the soldiers is running through the forest, and he's kind of like the hot gun of the group. And he's running so fast that he impales himself on a tree branch. So it weakens him, and then obviously the werewolf eats him because he fucking impaled himself. He's running so fast. And in this scene,
He runs into a tree branch, you
he
said?
runs into like a broken in half tree branch,
Something
impales
splintered, I got you.
impels his entire chest through his back, and then the werewolf eats him. Spoiler alert.
Talk about shrimp on the barbie.
And then in this film, Holly runs like a fucking mad woman through the cave for daylight, breaks her leg, and spoiler alert, you'll find out.
Gets sucked in by the devil's butthole, basically.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I love some fucking horror, or I love some gore, right? But just the idea of someone touching an exposed bone that just shoots out of a leg, dude, that sends like shivers down my spine.
I can't
Splintered
watch
bone poking out. Ugh. Sarah's delusions are quickly put aside as the group is attacked by a creature referred to as a crawler. The group scatters and the crawler rips Holly's throat open. Sarah trips, falls, and is knocked out. Seeing Holly still alive, Juno tries to defend her. But in the confusion, she whirls around only to stab Beth through the neck with her pickaxe. Beth grabs Juno's pendant as she falls to the ground, and Juno stumbles away in shock. This is where shit gets turned up.
That whole scene right there where she spins around and pops her like she's fucking Beatrix Kiddo.
This is the most memorable scene for me in the movie.
That was such a good fucking scene.
I thought it happened at the end of the movie. That's like how impactful it was in my memory. I thought it was like the end of the movie. That's how it happened, you know.
It's so sad for Beth because to me, like, she's a much better character than Sam. So why wasn't that Sam that got to the neck? Because Sam does nothing for the whole movie, basically.
I think you need Sam for exposition later on, and that's really about it. Because she's a doctor. Because they want her to describe like what they're fighting against later, based on her medical analysis.
That and it makes the group seem that much more vulnerable. That you're killing off like the strong characters first.
Yeah, she's like the glue of the two other leads. Like, she's the in-between, it seems like, of everybody.
She's the one that keeps the tension in check between Sarah and Juno. So, yeah, you're definitely onto something there, Chris.
Juno goes fucking ham right here. This is kind of when I started to appreciate her. because she has no fucking hesitation going after this thing. Also had a question, where are the albino dicks, man? We see a whole lot of these crawlers flopping around. I didn't see any dicks.
And there is a female crawler.
There's got to be dicks hanging out
yeah,
somewhere.
we're going to see this whole crawler system has like a societal structure.
Oh, yeah, there's like nuclear families. There's probably have weddings and shit down there.
How about
But
that?
no dicks. Where are these dicks at?
Hope I get a RSVP.
Dude, Holly had to always be the first one through, right? So now she's the first one dead.
I didn't miss her, I'm going to be honest
How
with you.
fucked is that, bro? She had such like a youthful spirit, man, and she just got the act so quick. Well, speaking of that, the sound it makes when the creature is like crunching into Holly's neck, bro.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty.
Oh, it was so, the fucking sound design. It gave me goosebumps when I heard it. It was so
Nice and bony stew going on there.
And then the tug of war they have, the creature and Juno over the body of Holly.
Give me that bitch.
Have we talked about how Sarah went and like fell and hit her head in a fucking hole somewhere?
Yeah, I kind of threw that in there because this is kind of a repetitive thing throughout the movie. Sarah trips, falls, and is knocked out. This happens about 3 times.
Constantly busting that fucking head on something.
Yeah, I think she has personality shifts every time she cracks her head open.
But she trips and falls into that hole and uses a camera to see?
Yeah, that's when she kind of comes to. She's using the night vision, right? Is that right?
Yeah, just night vision. So in that scene, one more note, and I don't know why in the hell I have so many fucking notes about dog soldiers, but get over it. This is the last one. Among the bones that she's kind of scanning through with the camera, she comes across one of the skulls of the werewolves from Dog Soldiers. If you go back and watch it.
Oh shit!
It's
A
definitely
little
cool.
Easter egg.
Little Easter egg. But yeah, you talked about that camera, man. Essentially, Sarah now has the best tool available for like being able to keep away from the humanoids in the cave, like the night vision capable video camera. If you're a student of zoology, much like yeah boy, I assume that the creatures are going to be blind before even like being told that they possibly are, and they rely on sound. Because the way they actually look like bats kind of in the face, if you really look at it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of more central to their design than like we all saw, like, oh, it's Gollum or some shit. Like he could see really good in the dark. That was kind of Gollum's thing. This is the opposite of that.
Total opposite. But now that she has the camera, she kind of has the tools to navigate and survive this thing.
If she could just be quiet and quit banging her fucking head on all the rocks she sees.
And boy, does Holly's body get dropped.
Juno eventually locates Sam and Rebecca and rescues them from a crawler. Juno tells him that she may have found a way out, but she will not leave without Sarah. The others reluctantly agree to help her search. Meanwhile, Sarah awakens and encounters the wounded Beth, who tells Sarah that Juno fucked her shit up. Beth gives her Juno's pendant inscribed with the words, "Love each day." Beth asks Sarah to end her, and she does so.
You know, it had to be heartbreaking, right?
She's still fucking hanging on.
First of all, how the fuck did her ass get to where she was?
I don't know.
I mean, she got thrown
She
down the
sort of
chute.
like just appeared.
She got thrown down the chute, obviously.
Did it really matter logistically?
It mattered to me in regard to she got axed through the throat and was still able to talk.
Oh, she was gurgling. She was gurgling, bro, the whole time. Not the good kind of gurgling either.
Well, I mean, I understand, but
We could have established this if she just found her body in the pendant, I think. I don't know if we needed her to say it out loud.
she's like, dude,
Juno's a fucking bitch.
Don't trust this fucking cunt.
She's fucking sucking Paul's cock.
I watched them. She said, "Tag team, we can do the Eiffel Tower with Paul." And I said, "How the fuck we gonna do that? I ain't got a dick." Said, "Use this strap on, motherfucker." Yeah, I'm embarrassed. I told you now. Can you just fucking smash my skull in with a rock?
Yeah, this is kind of the moment when Sarah starts to level up too. She's kind of getting her.
Fucking Sarah goes from, "It's me, oh, I'm crazy Sarah," to, "I'm Sedakana."
we get the poster shot here.
Sarah encounters and wipes out a whole crawler family unit in quick succession. Elsewhere, Juno, Sam, and Rebecca are pursued by a large group. Sam and Rebecca are eventually killed over a large chasm, and Juno leaps down the hole to escape.
What I write? Blood? I write blood slurry?
The blood pool is badass.
The blood pool's badass. It makes no sense.
Wait, hold on. How does it not make any sense?
That's a lot of blood, man.
They would have been drinking that shit.
Have you not been watching what was happening in the movie right there? She's literally walking down a hill within the cave that is piled with body after body after body. That blood's going to collect somewhere. But yeah, Hootie talked about it earlier about the female, the female crawler.
Sarah fucking destroys this little kid crawler.
The little fucking creepy crawly crawler jumps on her back, and you can hear his high pitched yelping. You can tell he's like an adolescent. She fucking stomps his head in, curb stomps him, and then the mom casually walks up.
Let's pause here, and let's look at Chris, Mr. Daddy over here, Daddy Corner. Did you care about the baby creature, Chris?
Hell no, these things weren't human. Fuck them.
There we go.
Look, here's the thing: you shave Chris's face, motherfucker looks like a crawler. Look at him.
Joey, why don't you shave your taint?
Good luck. I could barely reach my asshole.
I ain't seen my taint in 50 years. Motherfucker's only 40 years old.
But yeah, there's like a familial system in place because you literally have a fucking female, and you can tell it's a female. She's got tits and she's got hair, and she finds the body and pursues Sarah in a fit of vengeance.
See, this is supposed to be like a mirror of herself, like her own grief of losing her child put onto this crawler, right? But that's fucking quickly dispatched.
Yeah,
Quickly.
but I think it's cool they're building up like the actual creatures, like giving them
Some kind of lore, yeah.
giving them some type of lore. I like that.
And then here's a question I had. This is Sam and Rebecca. I don't know what the fuck Sam is doing when she like crawls out over the chasm or whatever. What was she trying to do there?
I had the same question.
Think she was going to try and establish like a rope way for them to cross.
She seemed suicidal to me halfway across.
I think
It was confusing.
right there in the middle, she realized, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing or why did I do this? Because she literally does that and she kind of suspends herself in midair with no real anywhere to go. It was almost like she was like, all right, I'm going to hang out here until y'all get killed. And then I'm going to go fucking do my own thing. She has this line earlier in the movie, and I wrote it down here somewhere, where she's talking about how Juno is looking for Sarah, and she's screaming Sarah. And at this point, they realize, it's sound that attracts them.
Leave that
And
bitch alone.
They said they're looking for Sarah. And if she keeps it up, she's going to bring them down on our heads. And she said, better her than me. I was like, oh, fuck. All right, Sam. All right, girl.
In this cable crossing scene with Sam, this is probably my least favorite kill because the way it was shot, I couldn't tell what the hell was going on. At the end, she gets her throat slit. I know that.
I like the look of the throat slit, like dangling. That's cool. But how he got there is very weird and confusing.
I like how she kind of sacrificed herself. Thought that was kind of
Is that what the fuck she was doing, though?
No, she didn't do it on purpose, I think. I think it just played out the other way, but she made the most of the situation. She was already dead when she had her throat slit. Like, she was going to die. She's the only fucking medic they had, so instead of her just sitting there and dying in vain, she killed another, or tried to kill another one of the troglodytes.
I don't think she did a very good job.
She did.
Spoiler
Her
alert,
intentions are there.
in The Descent Part 2, she's still hanging from the
shit.
ceiling.
Oh, shit.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope it's the same actress and everything.
It is.
A bit earlier here, Sam being the doctor, they kind of asked her opinion on one of the dead crawlers, like what she thought they were. She kind of explains it's some kind of evolved form of humans who had been pretty much trapped down here and created their own society, their own ecosystem, and all that good stuff. So we kind of get some backstory. That's really her only purpose at this point.
The director, Neil Marshall, he describes them as pretty much cavemen who never left the cave.
Yeah, they become bat-like in a way.
How you devolve. I mean, I guess you wouldn't even call it devolve, because let's say you are living...
Failed to evolve, right?
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, you evolve to your surroundings. So they're obviously the fucking apex predator here. So in this case, they're more advanced than we are.
You in our house.
Yeah. That's the thing, too. These motherfuckers come to their house And
Start
they
fucking
get
shit
mad
up.
when they start getting killed and hunted. Bitch, you in my fucking house.
You dinner at my house.
Why you here if you ain't trying to get eaten?
All right, so we got Juno down the hole. We didn't even mention Rebecca's death because hers is kind of, I think, the worst in my opinion.
Y'all
She gets
hate
drug
Rebecca
off.
so much.
Nails
She just
is
lays
getting
there.
snapped. Nails is snapped. Well, no. Hold on. You said it's the worst. I think
She's
it's
not
one
even
of the.
paying attention.
It's one of the fucking coolest. Here's the thing. They're being fucking chased, right? By a horde of these creatures.
Yeah,
They go and they watch Sam do her thing for a good 3 to 5 minutes.
it's very theatrical. Yeah, and Rebecca's just like, ah.
But no, when
Off
they
to the
pull her
side.
back and he turns her over and starts eating her guts while she's
Yeah.
alive, that's fucking cool.
She doesn't even run. There's like no pursuit or anything.
Hey, where are you going to go?
It reminded me of the scene of them ripping into her guts and pulling them out. Reminded me of 78's Dawn of the Dead, with how Tom Savini built those guts and how it looked very realistic. It was a similar gut system.
Juno is helped by our girl Sarah, who's full-on badass Lara Croft at this point. Sarah asks if she saw Beth die, to which Juno nods. The two push for an exit until they encounter a group of crawlers and defeat them, Mortal Kombat style.
How cool was it the way they saw the crawlers perched up? They was waiting on them.
Yeah, it was like a damn boss fight or something, you know.
It was so fucking
It
cool.
happened so quickly. Like, she grabs Juno. They're like, you good? You good? Did you kill Beth? Nah. And they're like, all right, let's take 3 steps. Fucking, we're at the boss already, you know. Sarah faces Juno, reveals the pendant, and cripples Juno with a pickaxe. Juno pulls the pickaxe from her leg and turns to face a new group of crawlers as Sarah leaves her behind. Juno screams fade as Sarah moves on.
This group of crawlers you just described at the end, that right there was CGI.
Yeah, I do remember that now that you pointed out, because it's her back, and it's the like a wide shot of the cave, and there's like 8 of them coming at her, right? Yeah, fuck, that looked like crap too. Damn it.
Here's the thing. She gave Juno every chance in the world to redeem herself. From being like a trifling ass bitch with this whole Beth thing. All she had to do was tell her the truth about Beth.
That's it.
And she wouldn't do it. She's trifling.
At this point, in this moment, do like social conventions even matter? Does it matter if you fucked her husband or not?
No. I think had she been honest about Beth, she wouldn't even fucking killed her.
That's what I'm saying. If she was just like, yeah, I killed Beth by accident, I did fuck your husband, let's just get out of here alive.
Yeah,
We'll sort
did
this
happen,
out.
you know.
Like, there's no point in keeping secrets at this point.
Nah,
you know?
that's when you ask, did he pull out? You say no.
Did you
That's
suck
when
his
gotta-
dick?
That's when you gotta choke a bitch.
No, that's when you go Woody Harrelson and True Detective. Did she suck your cock?
No, that's when,
That's the best fucking scene.
no, that's when you go Cameron Diaz and Vanilla Sky.
He goes, a little bit? He says, a little bit. He's like, all right, I'm fucking done. I'm done.
This is why we can't have advertisers. Can we talk about, like Joey's point of these creatures in their natural habitat are apex predators? This ending scene, Sarah and Juno are mowing through these bastards
Yeah, they go
With-
fucking ham on him.
with ease, and I'm kind of confused.
It's
there.
2 Tomb Raiders at this point.
These are women who are in probably the top 1% of fitness
Oh, they're jacked
in their gender, or of their gender, because of like what they do in for their free time. These motherfuckers climb like rock faces and shit, so they're gonna be very powerful. And then being in this situation, the movie's called The Descent, right? It's not just a descent into a fucking cave. It's literally a descent into madness, and it's like a return to your primitive nature. So at this point, they're at their most primitive, and your most primitive, this guy has this. I want this. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
There is no fucking, I'm going to trade this shit. There is, I'm going to take. It's all force. It's all violence. And it demonstrates, like, here that they have been stripped down to their most primitive.
Sarah falls down yet again. And
Yet
is knocked
another fucking
unconscious.
bone pit.
This lady
Bitch can't
has
stop
gotta
falling.
have no brain cells left at this point. She awakens, scrambles up a huge pile of bones, which looked really fucking cool. Squeezes out onto the surface, runs to her vehicle, and speeds off. Finally safe, she pulls over to vomit, but sees Juno sitting next to her, face streaked with blood. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Sarah is awakened by a vision of her daughter. The camera pulls out, revealing she is still stuck in the deep bowels of the cave system. Production note: in the American cut, the film does not cut back to the cave. This was trimmed because American viewers did not like the uber hopeless finale originally.
Boo-hoo.
It's that, and they fucking knew this movie was going to do well. So they wanted to film it in a way there can be a sequel.
Yeah, I'm still torn on the ending here. Haven't watched it.
UK audiences did it right, because I think that's what the director originally wanted, is the UK ending.
To that point, Joey, I think you could have made a sequel without even attaching yourself to this film. It could have been a different...
Anybody else could have went down there.
You said the Appalachian Mountains span 15 states. You could have entered any other state and like found more creatures or just expanded on the system.
Here's the thing, though. How much better... Because most of the time you want to do a sequel, right? Yeah, you want the money. You want to make it a story that is also, if not captivating, at least comparable to the original. How could you write a fucking story better than this one?
So you're saying you wanted the legacy characters back?
No, I don't want a sequel at all. I'm just saying, to your point, if you want to make a movie that's a sequel to this about a different cast of people, how do you make it better?
What you always do in a sequel, Joey, you get a bigger fucking monster.
Bigger monster, more blood.
There's got to be like a daddy crawler who's like...
There can't be a daddy crawler. It's a fucking cave.
You need like a Kevin Nash.
Like, you got to be able to fit. You got to be able to... Literally, if you're a crawler, you got to be able to fucking crawl. You can't have a giant Hulk crawling through the goddamn cave system.
You need Kevin Nash walking around.
That'd be badass. You get Thomas Jane back because you know he's just finished Mute Chronicles.
He's wrapped.
He's jacked right now. I'm assuming he was jacked in that movie.
He was. Yeah, he was.
But yeah, this that wraps it up, dude. How did you feel about the ending? I know Joey's a fan of the
I'm a fan of, honestly, I'm a fan of both of them. I don't think either ending is bad. I think the one with the U.S. ending with just the sequence of showing Juno's ghost, it's true to the character of Sarah. Like, she's seeing her dead daughter constantly, so it's like, all right.
I like the tidiness of that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And then the other one is, I guess she's finally come to it, because the whole time we're watching the movie, right, there's 5 candles on this cake.
It's her kid's birthday, yeah.
Yeah. The very end of the movie, there's 6 candles on this cake. And all the candles are out but one. There's like 6 members in the group. And there's one candle left.
She's the last light in the dark.
She's about to blow it out. She's the last light. I like not every ending has to be fucking happy. It doesn't. And even the ones that aren't happy. Let's say, okay, this is going to... The UK version's the bad ending, or the unhappy ending, the whatever ending. And the US version's the happy ending. How can this woman ever be happy again? Even if it is a happy ending, like, it's not going to be happy.
You can't go to therapy and work this shit out, I don't believe.
Yeah, this right here sticks with you for life, man.
I don't think even Sam was qualified to help you get through this one. Doctor, that she would be.
Telling a therapist, look, I went on a vacation. All my friends died in a cave full of creatures.
They're going to throw you in the fucking loony bin.
Some of my friends killed each other. I killed one of them. We killed a whole lot of like really white-looking golem dudes whose dicks nobody ever saw.
Riddle me that, therapist.
Just writing the shit down. Okay. Yeah.
They had to have some sort of balls, like some recessed balls or something, because she knees them in the crotch at one point and they react.
Recessed.
The dude reacts. The dude reacts, or the monster reacts in such a way he spits up blood.
Well, they are.
They gotta have some gonads, man. They're reproducing, right?
They are like wet, slippery fish-like. So maybe it's like a shark who has like a flap, and the flap opens.
He got kicked in his nut flap.
There you go. It's flap. We may never know, you know.
I think we should take like Sarah's all her trauma and put it like in a chat GPT and like say like, how would you consult someone who's been through all this stuff, just to see, just to get a generic response.
Audience, you have homework.
You just stay in the cave, Sarah. There's nothing we can do for you. All right, what piece of memorabilia you taking home, or I should say, taking out of the hole?
Or once again, I'm going to do a Joy amendment to my choice. I'm going to choose the entirety of the bone pit.
Whoa.
like as a collective.
The big one at the end.
Oh, just all of them. You know what I mean?
Put that in your fruit
Do
salad.
you know how much bone art
Oh,
me
God.
and
God
me and
damn it.
Nubbins can make out of that, man?
Hashtag bone art.
Bone
I
art.
haven't heard
Yeah,
bone art in a while.
Dude, I had so much. I have a whole living room set with enough left over for the guest bedroom.
It's the classiest name for pornography I've ever heard. Bone art.
I forgot.
I was watching a bit
I
of
didn't even
bone
fucking
art
say it
the
like
other
that. I
day.
don't know why y'all keep saying that.
Bone
Yeah,
art.
you always do.
Bone art.
Some boning art.
I can't believe I got this raging hard boner right now.
I should have watched that. It seemed like, oh, look at all this shit Joey could use.
Look at all this bones.
Mine might be a little vanilla, but I really want the is it called a pickaxe? Whatever the tool.
Yeah.
is.
I called it a climbing spike.
A climbing.
It's called a pickaxe officially.
Okay, the pickaxe. The pickaxe that Juno uses
Yeah, she goes fucking ham with that thing.
is like probably the coolest weapon of the film, and we just badass to just have her around the house.
Dude, we didn't even talk about how she threw that motherfucker like it was a goddamn tomahawk.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
She was badass, dude.
Dude, she
I
was
really
going
liked her
nuts.
character.
She was turning into fucking Ripley at one point, but she just happened to run into Sarah Connor.
Boom.
And Sarah Connor put her ass on the ground, bitch.
Kinda.
Hell yeah. Let me personally get that night vision camera. Got all this Paris Hilton footage in mind. I'm looking at
Oh my
recreate it,
god,
so.
yes, I remember that one.
Ain't nothing like that 05 grainy footage, you know.
She was
Like,
very awkward when she sucking that dick.
You can make some really good bone art with my night vision camera from 2005. And that wraps her up, boys. Grade book's out. Time to dispense some letter grades for Mr. Neil Marshall of the UK.
2005's The Descent was a film I remember watching when it came out on DVD and loving it during my first watch. After rewatching it for the show, I'm happy to say that it holds up impeccably. Marshall has a real knack for making horror films move at a breakneck pace when the beasts are revealed. The attention to detail and realism of the actors and the equipment they use seem legitimate with how they interact with this cave system. However, that is coming from a person who has never in their entire damn life been in a cave, so that could all be bullshit. The only big negative I had walking away from this film was Juno's character and how she is all over the place and never really lands with me on what exactly her motives are. All of the other characters besides Sarah are just food for the crawlers and do a good enough job with that. Overall, this film was a fantastic rewatch, and I give it the letter grade of a B+.
Oh, me. In my old age, with my mature bladder, I've never pissed more during a movie than I have with 2005's The Descent. All that water dripping constantly, my plumbing hated this fucking movie. But me personally, I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I gotta applaud Chris for choosing it. Golf clap. Honestly, I have no clue when or if this movie would have ever come up for review anytime soon. As one of its most common series of descriptors is just how underrated, underappreciated, and underdiscussed it is when it comes to modern horror. Ultimately, in my mind, it's the caves that serve as the true horror in The Descent, even more so than the horrific creatures that inhabit them. This is one of the first horror movies in a long time I remember seeing years ago that created a fear within me that I didn't have before I saw it, and that, as you may have guessed, is claustrophobia. The claustrophobia-inducing camera work is excellent, being so effective that I think people with severe cases, they would have a hard time making it through the first 40 minutes of the movie, let alone its entirety. And at that 40-minute midpoint of the movie, what starts out as a story of overcoming grief and learning to live again, after evolving into a survival thriller, 2005's The Descent becomes something else entirely. A compound horror story combining elements of disaster, creature, and psychological horror. It's almost like 3 horror movies in one, making the most of its hour and 30-ish minute runtime. The use of live actors to play the creatures was a brilliant move. The crawler's design is so detailed and fleshed out. You can see how their bodies have adapted to living in a cave with their enlarged ears, their skin pigment changing, the use of clicks to communicate and hunt, their blindness, their social structure. The lore created within this film could be a story unto itself. Visually, the contrasting colors used within the cave, the red of the flares against the black of the darkness, the neon green and brown of the chem lights glowing bright against the earthy rock formations of the cave, they breathe life into the abyss. Not to be overshadowed by the visual component, the music is beautiful and is able to take the audience from the lowest of lows, leaving the watcher feeling hopeless to the highest of highs, instilling a sense of salvation right around the next corner. It's wonderfully executed, and along with the distinctive color variants, it really helps carry each scene in an otherwise stale environment. If you're a horror fan in general, or hell, if you're a fan of good movies in general, do yourself a favor, put down the phone, finish this episode of the podcast, and watch 2005's The Descent, which grades out with the B bordering on A territory.
So yeah, of course, this was my choice, something I had very fond memories of. Was glad to revisit. I'd been kind of batting it around the old brain canon the last few choices, with summer beating down on us here in the hills of North Carolina. Thought it was time to get it done. This was what I would call a word of mouth movie back in 2005, which, believe it or not, don't check your watch, was 20 fucking years ago, boys.
Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah, back in the day, I feel like this was one of the movies I heard about, but finding a movie in 2006 or so was a different adventure than it is now, when you can just pop it in the old Google, see where it's streaming, and hunt it down that way. I think I had to go find this on a DVD, maybe at even Ed McKay's or something like that back in the day. Shout out to Ed McKay's. I love the female cast. I've always loved movies that play with unique perspectives, and I feel like a movie that's essentially 6 women jump into a cave and get harassed by a bunch of creepy albino men, that also utilizes the fact that these women are antagonistic to one another to kind of play up the stakes and make this more than just a typical man versus wild story is awesome. Juno was fucking great. I really liked that character a lot. Her going ham with the pickaxe was one of the highlights of the movie for me. And Sarah actually going through a change, which, of course, as we know with horror, often uses analogy for grief and overcoming personal obstacles. But this character, I genuinely felt like started out as a meek mouse and kind of became a badass by the end of it. Only real complaint from me was some of the CG, which I've kind of shit on to this point. It was super meh. And I just hate the fact that the practical looks so good. It just makes the CG that much fucking worse. Shout out to Anaconda. 8 years before this, it looked better than this. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, it still holds up in my mind. Still something I recommend to anybody, whether they're a fan of the genre or not. It's just a good movie. It's hard to find a good drama and good horror all wrapped into one tight little independent package. And for that, Mr. Neil Marshall will be leaving this class with a B+ from myself. I'm going to take a moment to recap these audience score guesses from you twos. Since this was my flick, I did not guess. If you're new to the show, welcome in. I know we got a few new followers popping up recently, so we appreciate you. Welcome to school. The way this game works is we take a guess at that audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. If we're within 5 percentage points, we take the reins and choose what to watch next. Otherwise, we spin a random wheel of often pain and torture to determine what we do next.
And I'm really good at this.
And Mr. Hootie, Trap Daddy, is undefeated at this game, I believe, if you check our records. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to recap those guesses. Like I said, for myself, no guess, nothing at stake for me. Mr. Hootie said a 65, and Mr. Nasty went with a 75. And the actual audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is a 76. Ooh. Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner. 1 point
That's
off,
a
Mr.
bingo.
Brutal.
Mr. Joseph. Hootie's lost his first head-to-head. Mr. Hootie has lost. So happens to the best of us.
I'm pretty good at this fucking game, huh? I've been thinking about it. And
Oh shit, we're in trouble.
we have a franchise that we're already pretty deep in.
Oh,
Is it The Descent?
It's not The Descent.
it's a
I
terrifying.
think we're going to return to a little bit of horror, more horror comedy than what it has been in previous entries. We're kind of getting into the slapstick, corny part of the franchise, but I kind of want to keep progressing through just to see how these play out. And with that said, our next movie that we're going to review is going to be 1998's Bride of Chucky.
Oh shit,
Whoa,
Chuckster.
Petite Morte.
Morte. It means the little death.
We're already
Death.
to Bride of Chucky.
We're on the 4th entry.
We're on the 4th
Whoa.
entry in the Chucky Child's Play. At this point, they've abandoned the Child's Play moniker and have made it their own thing. It no longer has anything to do with Andy Barclay. This is Chucky out in the big wide world.
So we're going to be as deep in Chucky as we are in Friday the 13th.
We're gonna be caught up with Friday the 13th.
And for anyone, again, new to the show, the way we kind of handle sequels and franchise fodder is to, if we choose to tackle one, we try to do it sequentially. So if we're on Bride of Chucky, that means if you check your friendly podcast feed, you will find the first 3 Child's Play films already covered. Alrighty, folks, we're going to pull up the trailer for Bride of Chucky from 1998. If you hop on our YouTube, you can watch along with us, get our reactions there. Otherwise, we will be back here in a few short moments. Yeah, that there is the trailer, boys. Since this is Joy's choice, between you and me, Hootie, what's the audience score sitting at for that there bad boy, Bride of Chucky?
I'll do you a favor this time, Hootie, and I won't guess nothing. We'll give you a chance at actually getting it right for once.
How about that? Ain't that sweet of you? What a sweet soul. Probably
I'm
still
going to let you go first. You always bitch about me going first, so go ahead.
Probably still going to hit a ground ball here. I remember this being well received, and people who like Chucky, fucking like Chucky, like you two clowns. I'm going to go a 60.
I'm going to say a 45.
Whoa, okay.
I think this might be a little too
This is
corny
where
for some
this is
folk.
where it starts to take a nosedive, huh? I mean, it started taking it with the third one with audience scores.
That one was
But,
outrageous.
I
I
love
like
the
the third one. Where he ends up in the fan at the end, gets all chopped up and shit. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And the TV show is doing well. I think they just wrapped their 3rd season, so again, another timely choice for us here.
The little Chuckster's got some long legs, if you will.
Here's the thing. He's voiced by Brad Dourif the entire time, except for the reboot.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you for listening. Check out our website, horriblefilmschool.com. You can find links to all our podcast platforms, the Instagram, the merch store. If you follow the right breadcrumbs, you'll lead to our link tree, I think, through Instagram, which will give you links to even more stuff. We're all over the place. Come check us out wherever you can. Give us a follow everywhere you can. Put some hearts on some content. Spread some love and joy. We appreciate all that from you guys. Leave a review if you can. That helps out a lot. 5 stars. If you think we earned it, send us some sweet inspirational quotes disguised as artwork. I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women putting pickaxes through the legs of your quote-unquote friends that have been fucking your now-deceased husband. You're the real MVP.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, tell at least one person you know. Spread the love. Spread the campaign of The Horrible Film School. And with that, I am going to ascend out of The Descent to review a very, very tiny deformed doll. And with that, I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we tie the knot with 1998's Bride of Chucky. Till death do we part. Class dismissed.